Hey y'all, it's Bethany here. Welcome back to my channel, Bethany Brings Books. So, in honor of Jane Austen July, sorry if I'm out of breath. I just filmed another video. And I feel like I've been talking so fast that I can't breathe. Anyway, so, in honor of Jane Austen July, I thought it would be fun to do a video, not only in honor of Jane Austen July, but also in the theme of my latest videos and just what I've been wanting to read and my love for all the Jane Austen things lately. It would be fun to do a video talking about all of my Jane Austen books and Jane Austen themed books. I think this is pretty much all of them. There may be some somewhere on my shelves that I just haven't put with my Jane Austen things, but for the most part on this shelf back there in that empty spot is where I typically keep all of my Jane Austen books and Jane Austen themed books. So I thought it would be fun to share those with you guys. So let's get started. First of all, I'll share my Paper Mill Press books. I have 4 Paper Mill Press Jane Austen books, and I've ordered them over the past few years from Book Outlet. I don't have Pride and Prejudice, unfortunately, which I would love to get in Paper Mill Press, but they're just very pretty books to me, especially displayed like this, like all the bright colors and then the shimmery. They're made of like I'm not sure what that is. They're not hardback, but I also wouldn't really call them paperback. This is like a cloth, sort of. I don't know if they're considered cloth bound or not. Anyway, but they're just all so pretty. They have that shimmery look, shimmery, whatever you call this, design on it. I don't know all the proper words. It's like a etched engraving or whatever, I don't know. Anyway, they have that, and then they have the pretty details, and then on the back they have a quote from the book. So yes, and they also come with a bookmark. They are kind of stiff, so they don't flop open at all. They're kind of stiff, so, and if you're reading from them and you don't want to break the spine, you have to read kind of like that. You can't just bend them open, which I have read from 3 of these. Yeah, I read Northanger Abbey. I read from 3 of these, and I actually enjoy reading from them, even though I didn't just do like that. I still enjoyed it. So that's what they look like. This is what the font looks like. They definitely have pretty wide margins. So yeah, but yes, I have Northanger Abbey, Sense and Sensibility. So pretty. Emma. I think the cover on Emma is kind of an interesting one. And then Persuasion. Persuasion was actually the first Jane Austen that I ever read, and I really want to read it again. I actually have it out, hoping that I'll pick it up soon. Those are my Paper Mill Press ones. Then I also have these that I got. I believe I got all of these from my husband's grandpa died last year. His grandmother had a lot of books, and so at the estate sale, I believe I got these from there. So I don't remember if I got all of them or just these 2. It might have been just these 2. These 2 are both Reader's Digest editions. They're still very pretty editions. This one's Emma, and so they're very pretty. They have pretty illustrations. I think these are from the 80s, but it's interesting. It has also a list of where all the illustrations are, which that's pretty interesting. So a color illustration, and they have a quote under it. So that's pretty. And then Sense and Sensibility. I think these are just very pretty editions in my opinion. Now, Sense and Sensibility does not have a list of all the illustrations. This one's from 2003, so this one's newer. So this one may not have illustrations. Yeah, this one doesn't have illustrations. Still a very pretty copy. This one, I do not know where I got this one. This one is, who is this one by? Looks older. Illustrations by Isabel Bishop Dutton and Company. So it's got, this is from 1976. List of illustrations, Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen chronology, Isabel Bishop, a biographical note, afterword by Isabel Bishop. This one though, I just like the cover. I think that's pretty with her name on it. These illustrations look more like, I don't know, like a watercolor. There's that one. And then I have this that I found 4 years ago, and this is a modern library, and it's the complete novels of Jane Austen, and it's quite faded. This is a find that I just love. It does not, I don't know what year it is because it does not have a year in it, a date in it, and I feel like I heard someone say that there was a certain time period that they quit putting the year in books. I need to look that up. I don't know, but it has all of the books, and so I just thought that was really cool, really fascinating. So yeah, it's quite thick, quite thick. I have this edition, Pride and Prejudice. This is International Collectors Library. So this one has, I believe the edges are supposed to be deckled, I think. Maybe. They look like they are. It has a ribbon that's kind of faded. I think this is the one that has really pretty illustrations, and this also has a name in it in the year 1958, which is kind of cool. 1953. But this one is quite beautiful to me, the illustrations. Starting out on the first page, it has this illustration. Oh yeah, this is it. These illustrations, and the illustrations are actually on like a I don't know what you call that, a glossy paper. They're so pretty. They have the quote under it. This would be a gorgeous edition to read out of. This is Mr. Darcy. Cool that they have the glossy illustrations like that, but then they also have throughout the book they have illustrations like this. This is a gorgeous edition, y'all. I think this is one of my favorite ones that I have. I should read this one. That would be so cool with the illustrations. I like that one. It's very pretty. And then I have this edition of Pride and Prejudice. I picked this up a long time ago at Ollie's. I think it's a what is it? The Word Cloud Classics. So yeah, it just has a lot of different quotes and names and things on the cover. It's okay inside. It's not like fabulous or anything. The end cover is pretty, but other than that, I don't really have illustrations or anything. And then I picked this up at a used bookstore a while back. It's the Barnes & Noble hardback edition of Persuasion. Another prettier one. It's definitely a darker look, but still a pretty book. And inside it's just basically a novel. We don't have any illustrations. This one, Emma, I got this one several months ago. This is very pretty. It's got it's kind of the flowers are kind of raised, and this is the I forgot what you call it, but it's got like extra stuff in it. So it has like, first of all, it's very beautiful floral throughout. It has a map of Highbury, and then it just has various things like, so it's illustrated, of course, mostly just floral illustrations that go along with like the different, like if it's springtime, it has spring flowers, and if it's winter, it has winter flowers, greenery. But yeah, it has different things in it. So like in this section, it has a recipe for apple pie. It's supposed to be things from that time period. Like this is a newspaper from that time period. And then I think at the end it has like a letter, which is cool. So it's kind of like a enhanced classic, I guess you would say, and it has various things like that in it. So this is cool. I would love to eventually read out of this. I also would love to get the Pride and Prejudice version of this eventually. And then I believe this is the last actual novel that I have of hers, and this is Mansfield Park. Of course, it's the Penguin classic. Just a very classic look overall. Worn out because I read this earlier this year and like totally wore this thing out. But yeah, there's that one. And then some various other Jane Austen themed things that I have. First of all, I have this Color Me Jane coloring book that I've had a long time. I also got that from Ollie's years ago, and it's actually very pretty. It has a lot of really pretty illustrations in it. So like this is Pride and Prejudice. So this just says there's Emma and Mr. Woodhouse. It's very pretty. It has really pretty illustrations. That's cool. From Northanger Abbey, it's got like a stack of the books she talked about and then her reading. I think this is the only one that I've ever even tried to color in it. I need to color some more. This one's very pretty. Now that I've read Jane Austen, when I got this, I had actually never read Jane Austen. Now that I have, it makes me quite interested in coloring in it more. So that's pretty cool. And then I have another Jane Austen coloring book. If y'all watch my latest video with the if y'all watch my Pride and Prejudice vlog, y'all saw me coloring in this one, and I showed y'all some pictures from it. This one was not quite what I expected it was going to be. It's basically just quotes from the various books. So yeah, it's just basically quotes with different designs. Like that one, if I loved you less, I might be able to talk about it more. You must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love you. So yeah, it's basically like that. So it wasn't quite what I expected. I actually really like the other one a lot better, but that one's still fun. It's from Creative Haven. Selected Letters of Jane Austen, which I really want to read. I got this one several years ago. I'm really looking forward to reading this one. I think it would be very fascinating to get a glimpse into the mind of such a fascinating figure who wrote all these amazing books. I found this one at some point, I don't remember where. Who Was Jane Austen? One of these, you know, the series. I don't know what they're called. The Who series. I never read that one, but I thought that one would be cool to read. Praying with Jane, 31 Days Through the Prayers of Jane Austen. Also never read that, but I would like to eventually. It's like a devotional. Jane Splains, a compendium of Jane Austen's wit and wisdom. And this just has different quotes and things in it from her books and maybe from her letters. Yeah. It just has different quotes and stuff. And then I found this one at Ollie's recently. Jane Austen, a Literary Celebrity. This is published by Nelson Books. Says it offers a biographical picture of a woman who never meant to be famous, but whose stories have touched the lives of millions. So it's kind of like just a little book. Small little account of her. And then I have this, which I also love and really need to read it since I've read Pride and Prejudice. It's a Seek and Find classic, which is really cool. So we have like Welcome to Meryton, and we have where we meet Mr. Bingley arriving at Netherfield Hall, Mr. Bennet visiting the new neighbor, and just goes on, and then it shows like pictures of them, and it's like seek and find them in the picture. So we have a picture of the different characters, and then we can look for them in the book, in the story. So that's really cool. Dinner with Mr. Collins. Holiday in Derbyshire. So that's just really cool. The Unexpected Visitors. What are you laughing about? So that's a really cool one. I found that one on Amazon. This is one that I also absolutely love, and it's Jane Austen cover to cover. So it has a ton of Jane Austen books through the years, 200 years of the classic covers. So we start way back, you know, during the first editions, and it just goes through the years with different, showing different editions, and it talks about the editions like the Puffin classics. Oh, and did y'all know that Bethany House actually did an edition one time. I never knew that. So these are like the mid-century ones, like in the 60s. And then they have some of the really pretty ones. Let me see. For each one's Riverdale, Penguin, Cock Edition. So this one is really interesting. This is a really cool book to have. Then I have this one. I really don't know how much Jane Austen themed this is, but I found it a while back, and it's What Jane Austen Ate and Charles Dickens Knew. From Fox Hunting to Whist, The Facts of Daily Life in 19th Century England. I don't think this is necessarily Jane Austen themed. It's just basically, it gives you a look into what life was like during some of these famous authors. So I thought that would be interesting to have. But there you have it, guys. All of my Jane Austen collection. I hope to slowly add to this, especially now that I've read almost all her books and I've absolutely fallen in love with her as an author and like fallen in love with her work. And so yeah, I want to add to this collection as I go along. But anyway, guys, thank y'all for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.